From the City of Angels, you are listening to the James Salazar Media Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about the Supreme Court and Dune, the movie 2, my review. So let me strike the music, and I'll meet you on the other side.
Engage.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Say hello to my little friend.
No, I am the Father.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
And welcome to the James Salazar Media Podcast, where you get your dose of pop culture, politics, and futurism. It's been a while. Nonetheless, to get into it. I saw Dune, the movie, part 2. And here's my review. Well, it looked amazing. First of all, one of the most amazing looking movies I've ever seen. It's just, the bar has been raised. I didn't get pulled out of it because of the CGI, and there's tons of CG in it. Tons. But you don't feel it anymore. You know, that uncanny valley where humans look real or fake, they're not even dealing with that because they're using real actors. But the background, how everything looked, the color palettes, it's special effects. It should win the Academy Award. Now, the movie is definitely better than the first one. The first one was there to set up the story. And if you got through the first one, you're going to be pleasantly surprised about this one. Because this one gets into the meat of things. Gets into the training of Paul Atreides. It gets you into understanding who the Emperor is. And you understand the Fremen more. And you understand the witches, which is Paul Atreides' mother. She's one of them. And she becomes like more powerful and more influential. And Zendaya's character is a nice contrast to being anti-religious, that Paul Atreides is a messiah. She pushes against that, and ultimately it separates them. And I think everybody knows that. If I spoil that, sorry, but it is what it is. She ends up being, spoiler, somebody she doesn't recognize, and it's sort of her fault. You'll find that out. But at the end of the day, the movie's very good, well written. Everybody plays their part well. It didn't seem 3 hours. It seemed more like 2 hours, but it is a well done movie. It is a space opera. It is an epic, and it is one for our time. I encourage you to watch it. You will be blown away, but do not watch it without seeing the first one. I had people with me who've seen the first one that kept on asking me questions because they forget. So much happens in the first one, and it lays a foundation of what happens in the second one, and you will be lost if you try to jump in the middle. So watch the first one, enjoy the second one, and sets up for a third one. But it gets 5 potatoes. One of the best sci-fi movies in the last 20 years. There's been great ones like Interstellar, and I don't want to go through all of them. Maybe we'll make a podcast about that. But at the end of the day, this is a great movie. It looks amazing. It looks better than its predecessors, sci-fi movies. It just step above in story writing, which is by Frank Dune. Little changes here and there, but it serves the movie. It doesn't ruin it. Makes more sense to watch these arcs of these characters. And a lot of people say it's almost like Darth Vader's ascension, but it's way more classy and way more well done than that. And we're unsure how to feel about the main character played by Timothée Chalamet, Paul Atreides. So, I encourage you to watch it. The other news that we need to talk about is the Supreme Court ruling that the state of, I forget what state, it doesn't matter, tried to get him off the ballot. And a lot of people are upset at that. I'm just very taken back why people thought that was going to happen. You see, one of the most scary things that's happening today is that that people don't believe in due process for anybody they don't emotionally feel good about, which is weird. This is exactly how they screwed minorities, right? I feel they're guilty, so therefore, I will just lie and have mob justice and lynch them, or shoot them, or beat them and throw them in jail, based on what I feel, not based on the Constitution that says you are innocent and everybody should treat you as innocent until proven guilty. And the opposite of that, don't get it twisted, is fascism. To treat people like they're guilty before proven innocent is what happens in fascist states, police states, monarchies. This great experiment of ours, the United States of America, is founded on all the rights that give power to the individual and takes away power from the government. This is why, even though there is one person in the jury that says, nah, I don't think he's guilty, you can't send them to jail. It's not majority rule. You have to convince everybody. That is really for totalitarian governments not to screw you. If one person says, I don't feel they're guilty, they cannot convict. That gives the power to the individual. The bar approving and reasonable doubt. You don't have to have complete doubt. You got to have reasonable doubt, and everyone in the jury has to agree. And if they don't, you go free. So, when a state says you cannot be on the ballot based upon what I think you might have done, not that I can prove, on January 6th, well, you can't do that. It was never going to hold up in the Supreme Court. It was never going to hold up. Because it violates the Constitution. And we do not want to live in a world where people see, whether you like Donald Trump or not, we don't want to live in a world where people assume you're guilty until proven innocent. We got the media to do that. Right? They'll just say you're guilty, imply that you're guilty all day long, and your friends and your families, and people don't like you. But the law, who can actually do things, it needs to stay impartial. And all the laws are written for the favor of the citizen. And there is the government, prosecutors, and then you got the citizen. The most important person in that group is the citizen. And all the laws should tilt towards the citizen not being screwed. So, at the end of the day, I've been saying that a lot. At the end of the day, in reality, what that state did to get Donald Trump off the ballot was against the law. And we don't want anybody to judge people based upon their feelings only on what they can prove. Now, you can have an opinion. We all do, you know. We have your own personal opinion about what you think about Donald Trump. But we don't want the law to go on our shitty opinions. We want the law because the same laws that are convicted him based on people's emotions can be the same laws that come after you based on people's emotions. But if you can't prove it, this is why you need defense. There's people who've done bad things. And that cops think, I know this guy's dirty. So therefore, I'm going to plant evidence and do all this shitty stuff because based upon he knows that guy's guilty. But once that happens, it can happen to an innocent guy. And unfortunately, liberals, leftists, Democrats, they don't see past their nose. They're very immediate people. They don't see the long-term effects of their decisions. Well, thank God the Supreme Court ruled. Look at, I don't particularly like Donald Trump. I'm going to vote for him. I think he's way lesser of evils. And I know people on the other side, you know, they hear Donald Trump word and they get all emotional, they get all sad, you know. Sticks and stones won't break their bones, but words will always hurt a liberal. So, you know, I don't care about any of that. I rather have people do good as opposed to feeling good. So, that's what I think. And here, see, liberals want these special laws called the Constitution to be applied evenly without prejudice. That's originally what liberals were. Leftists will break any law so they can have the outcome that they want. And they're willing to break laws based on what they feel is right. But that's how societies are destroyed. That's how societies are destroyed. I don't know what to tell you. You can't do that. The laws are important. So, how do you know if you're a fascist? Number one, you're against free speech. You're definitely against due process. You want people to go to jail based upon your emotions, whether you like them or not. Definitely want to coerce people. If you want to coerce people to testify against themselves, you're a fascist. If you don't believe in due process for everyone, you're a fascist. If you don't believe in free speech, you're a fascist. Second Amendment, I think you're fascist if you want to disarm the citizenship against a great military that was ruling over you. And it doesn't seem smart to me, but you know, we don't allow certain people to have nuclear bombs, right? So it's not like I can agree to disagree. I won't call you fascist all the way, but I don't know how an armed society is a polite society. And an armed society keeps the military and the cops. It's the final check. Once that's gone, it doesn't matter what you think. I have free speech. I have due process. It doesn't matter if you can't defend it. And if the government no longer wants you to have it, well, you're screwed. But not if the majority of the citizenship have a gun. Then you're not screwed. No, we can come to the table. This is why the military and the police swear allegiance not to any one citizen, not to any one commander or chief. They swear it to the Constitution. And the Constitution only, because people are flawed. And people can be corrupt. And power absolutely corrupts. So what does this mean for you? The individual. If you feel like the world's ending based upon these two very unpopular candidates, then you're lacking emotional intelligence. What you need to be focusing on for you is getting on the things that you need to be doing, your goals and your dreams, and you must commit to results. You need to finish what you start. If you have a problem, finishing what you start, I got something for you. The future is now. Technology is growing at an exponential rate, and if you're not positioned to take advantage of this new technological landscape, you will be left behind. Why is that? You will not be able to keep up with the growth and speed of informational technology. By the time you've learned it, it has already evolved. So your success will rely on 100% of your mindset and emotional intelligence. Because for most, the anxiety and uncertainty of trying to compete in this futuristic landscape will overwhelm you and paralyze you to make any decision. You can either stand against the current of technological progress or surf its wave to prosperity. We do this by creating a more powerful intellect and identity to compete in this futuristic economy. So my friends, I introduce to you the Identity Redesign Matrix. Designer identities for the future. In this digital coaching course, we have chosen 8 strategic modules to maximize your human potential. The accumulation of knowledge of over 30 years of what really works. Now, normally this is what it would cost you to work with me one-on-one. You get all my knowledge of coaching, counseling, and performing on stage in this digital course at an extreme discount. We also make available to you a group coaching call once a week for 3 months for extra added support. But what I am really offering you is power. Power over your own life. Power to make your own decisions, to create the life that you always wanted, to be the person who you always wanted to be. To never let yourself down again, to never compromise yourself again, to become a fundamentalist of your own dreams, a revolutionary of your own cause. I leave you with this, that the unique thing about humans is also the saddest, is that we burn bright for only a while and then we're gone. As you know, some people burn brighter than others. Before you're done, how bright do you want to burn? If you want more information, the link is in the show notes or in my profile, or go to jamessalazarmedia.com/sling. So there you go. So let me leave you with this. Dune was great. Watch it. Always defend due process. We're having a crazy election coming up with Joe Biden and Donald Trump as the nominees. Get ready for some crazy things, some crazy shit. A lot of people acting in the worst behavior. So, next, I'm doing this bi-weekly. So we will go over my predictions for this year, even though I'm 2 months behind for the rest of the year, according to Futurism. And we'll go over the best movies I thought in 2023. So get ready for that 2 weeks from now. So, my friends, if the storm of life's come against you and you find yourself on your knees, stand tall and take a look at that storm and say what my sensei Jack Burton always says, give me your best shot. Strike the music.
Engage.
Ask not what you